That sounded
What?
ready when you are, if you ever get ready.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Excellent. Had my nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have cleaned them out of my teeth more before we started.
Mm-hmm. You're fine, I think. So, let's begin. Here I've got best video game stories. I don't know if anything good will come of that. The one that comes to mind for me, of course, is... Should I just talk about it?
You could, or we could. I was just gonna say, are these like stories with you and me, or just anyone?
Just anyone.
So
all.
I've never really been a gamer, or
a gamer.
I know after listening to Cox and Crendor, now I don't want to use that term. But I think since the Nintendo 64 and my time as a child with that, I've never been into video games. Really, I've been kind of intimidated by them.
Intimidated?
Yeah.
Why intimidated?
I don't know, because I just never thought I was like smart enough to, and I just wasn't motivated. And my mom, like, we were super into 4-H and stuff, so we didn't have time to really, or money to invest in games, computers. We had like the bare bones stuff for school and homework, but video games were not really a thing for many years. And some of the people, some of the places we lived or the people we were living with were not video game people. Anyway, I don't know why I felt the need to go into that. But so since being with Brandon, it's been 4+ years. I feel like I have a lot of mouth sounds.
Well, one of my cousins in Iowa gave Nick and I a PlayStation. I don't remember if it was PlayStation 1 or 2, but that was like, holy crap.
The Holy Grail.
So excited. And it was like, it was a fresh, sort of fresh-ish. I think it had been out for maybe like 5 years, but still, like, it was more recent than Atari.
Yeah, for sure.
And we had some computer games and stuff,
Yeah, but that would definitely be I was going to say a promotion. What am I trying to say?
Upgrade?
What? Yes, thank you. I don't know what it is about this little guy that just makes me lose the ability to conjure words. But
this little guy being the mic?
Yeah, this little fucker. Totally. I mean, if you're not someone, and of course back then, in the olden days, the advancements weren't so quick, and if you're not in that world, I don't know. Yeah. So even if that was a few years old, it would have been a huge deal.
Yeah, definitely.
And your parents were okay with that? Did they probably maybe didn't fully understand the loss of life that would be the loss of outdoors? And I don't know.
They've never really liked Nick and I playing too much video games, but I've always enjoyed them a lot. I'm glad that I didn't really grow up with them too much, because I would be just stuck inside, glued to a screen constantly.
You'd be a lot pastier than you are now. I mean, you'd be pasty.
Yeah. Probably.
So anyway, when we met, Brandon started introducing me to some games, and we played Diablo because I coaxed him to pull his old Diablo 2 or Diablo 3.
Diablo 3
CD out of the closet, because he confessed that he had lost many hours to that game. And I said, oh, it looks really interesting because it's kind of like fantastical, medieval dungeons, cool creatures. And what's that, like, overhead? What would you call the type of...
I think, I don't know. Top view, I guess?
Yeah. Which overhead, I get, because I get kind of very... maybe disoriented. Well, I get disoriented either way. But anyway, it just looked cool. And I was like, oh, that would be like a fun thing to do together. And we were living in a small granny unit and didn't have a lot of sources for entertainment or space after work. So we started playing, and then that led to some other things like Halo and Minecraft. Oh my gosh, so many hours lost to that. But anyway, so now, I'm not a gamer, but I enjoy it a lot more.
You've gotten good at Halo.
Well, we've played it so much. I mean, we don't play the, what do you call it? Again, with the words. not happening.
Playing what?
We don't play the quest or whatever the campaign
story mode.
Story mode.
Yeah, campaign.
We just play like the matches, which is fun.
Firefight.
Yeah, but I think we've gotten good at that. Although I am somewhat suicidal. But anyway,
you definitely are. You'll be low on health and just continuing to run in, and I'm like, you're gonna die.
But I'm like, whatever.
That's my decision to make, and
I have 10 more lives.
But we have shared lives.
Oh, yeah, I always forget about that.
This is the thing.
So whenever the guy says 5 lives left, and I'm like, oh, cool, like that's just me. Like it's only me I'm affecting.
It's us.
But you should remind me of that every time. You've been remiss in reminding me.
Charge. You'll have like
I want to be a hero, but then I end up dead.
You'll have stumps for legs and missing an arm, and you'll be still.
If I kind of wish that I would not be like that in real life. Okay, I do not enjoy pain. I do not tolerate pain. Blood is not. Yeah,
and you're not effective when you're dead.
It's true. It's so true. Gosh. So anyway, that's where the idea for talking about gaming stories came from.
Yeah. And the thing that I think that brought it to my mind was just the monkey. You know.
The monkey.
Indeed. Well, I would play Halo with Gonzalo, and he would call the weird grunty kind of aliens monkeys.
They're clearly monkey-based.
They are monkey-like.
You know, you have kind of like bird-based, monkey-based. What are the speedies? What would you... I mean, they're kind of bird, but they're kind of also goblin-y looking.
Roadrunner-based? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the monkeys are like... Rawr,
oh, yeah, for sure. Especially the ones that get dropped in the drop pod, the 4. They're very monkey. They're very ape.
Yeah. Those are...
Ape-like, I should say.
Those are what we...
Gorillas.
Would call the monkeys.
Yeah.
And there was one monkey that I was about to engage in combat with.
Hand or direct combat.
And he throws a grenade. It's like a sticky grenade.
Yeah, there's two types of grenades.
Whatever you throw it at, it sticks to.
Which is awesome.
He reels back, tosses it. It bounces off the wall that is like right next to him, right in front of him, and it lands on his own head. And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
That's gold. Yeah. I'm sorry. Wait, was I there to see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't there to remember that.
I don't think you were watching because, you were watching your
I have a hard time. I feel like you said that with a little bit of a smirk on your face. A little bit of kindness in your voice.
No, you watch
because
your own
I'm
screen.
never capable of watching someone else's screen. Whereas you will watch my screen and see that I'm about to do a crazy thing and like, what are you doing? Or little help here. Like, and I'll be like, I was trying, and you're like, no, you weren't. You were across the map.
I was watching you. You were just standing there, and I'm like,
shit, I forgot that you could see mine.
They're turning me into Swiss cheese, and you're just standing across on the other side of the map with your sniper rifle.
Hey, I try to pick them off from a distance, and be that little guardian angel. Sometimes it backfires. It's super fun. It's super fun to use the sniper rifle because you just can't be touched. And you just scope in and bam, clean one through the head. And then they just like repel backwards. Super fun. Super good team building and reality
Ragdoll
checking
effects.
For children. I would highly recommend. I'm just kidding.
It's a fun game.
It's fun. It is. I think it's a bit of a bonding experience. Sometimes it's a bit of a fight creating experience. Like when you were in the tank that one time and you're like,
oh yeah,
I meant because you can commandeer the tank, which is fun.
But it's difficult because at least in the one we have, you have to kill the person inside the tank to get it, and in order to do that, you have to damage the tank, which it usually just blows the tank up or makes it on fire, which you don't want to be in it when it's on fire. So I got in it. I was like, I got the tank because it was like fresh. I killed the guy inside it, or however I got it. But it's not often that I can get the tank. I was like, I got the tank. And I just am like driving it around. And then so I said it twice, I think. I got the tank.
Don't be like revising history here.
And then I just hear this.
I'm pretty sure you just said it once.
I hear this. And I see the like
you look at my screen.
I see the stream from the bullet. Going through me, and I look down at your screen and you've just fired at my tank, And I think you blew it up. You blew me up inside the tank.
You blew it up. Well, I didn't appreciate...
She can't be trusted.
I didn't appreciate how hard it was to get in the tank because you've done it like multiple times and I've never actually watched you do it and I don't have any interest in doing it myself. So I didn't understand how difficult it was, I think, until you actually just explained it. But I do just get in a mode because we're always about kill the tank first because the tank can shoot across the map and it has this big freaking torpedo thing and it can just decimate you.
They have such perfect aim.
Precision aim.
The computer has such perfect aim, whereas if you're in the tank, you're just missing everything all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's clearly designed for an alien pilot, whatever. So I'm sure that's why. It's not the game subtly trying to fuck you over. So I'm conditioned to just kill the tank immediately, especially when I have a sniper rifle because it's just a lot easier and you can kill it in 2 or 3 pops.
And when I was saying, I'm in the tank. Oh, I got the tank. She must have just been hearing, wow, 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 wow.
I just heard, tank, the tank. And I was like, gotta kill the tank.
Gotta kill that tank. And I'm just looking at my screen blankly as my tank blows up.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I did feel bad, partly because you made me feel really bad. Like, it was like 10 minutes later and you were still talking about it.
Yeah, it was like multiple rounds after that. I was like, I can't believe you did that.
I think you possibly were then trying to mess with me in subsequent matches. Like, because that'll happen too sometimes is...
Oh yeah, I'll try to run you over with vehicles and...
Sorry, I do have a bit of stuff in my throat. Yeah, well, usually it starts with him like stealing a kill of mine because I'm definitely slower. I feel like that's how it used to start, is you would be... I'd be clearly trying to kill a guy, and then you'd rush in, and I'd be like, God damn it! And then I'd go, like, shoot the Jeep or something, which is his beloved... No, I'm just kidding. It's just, like, destroying any, people-friendly equipment is just a no-no. So I would go kill that, and then he'd get, like, a ghost. But in the moment, I just wanted the satisfaction... of revenge.
When you would go pick up the ordnance. So like
and drop it. Yeah.
There are weapons that drop for you that you can use.
Special weapons.
So she would just pick them up and drop them on the ground and then they disappear and I'm like, what are you doing? Just picking them up to throw them away?
Because I couldn't tell what it was until I picked it up.
Oh my gosh, that is not an excuse.
Because it'd be some dumb thing that I didn't want to use. Yeah, so then...
But it would be some dumb thing that I would want to use.
I didn't understand that I for some reason thought the ordnance weapons would just stay there forever.
You should... Okay, so if you ever have a question about that
I didn't have a question. I didn't care enough to have a question. That's just what I thought.
And you see why I try to run her over with vehicles?
It's pretty funny. I then get a little panic. Yeah, because he chases me around.
In the Ghost. It's like a little hover
little purple
vehicle.
Hover thing, which is super fun to shoot because it explodes.
But it's also fun to run you over
or the Jeep. You've definitely chased me with the Jeep. Yeah. Anyway, so it's super good bonding experience.
Yeah. Just getting infuriated.
If you don't play this game with your loved one, I say now that you should. Because, yeah, we definitely don't get in fights when we play this game. Like we don't get in fights when we're setting up the podcast equipment. Good times, good times.
Yeah.
What else you got? I'm sure there's like a lot of Halo stories because those are fun.
Well, it's fun because there's like they have good ragdoll effects or
yes,
like
for sure.
There was so there are these really huge guys that have green cannon like plasma cannons on them. They're just giant and they will smash you. And so they're giant guys and there are little bird guys running around at the same time. And there was this green guy standing there in this hallway, and he's like charging his cannon at me, and this stupid little bird runs out in front of him, and he just blasts the bird. So fun little like slapstick stuff like that, where it's like, oh shit, but then this little bird just saves me.
Yeah. Oh, and they're not cute like little birds, just to be clear. They're like the guys from the Dark Crystal. Those horrible, ugh. Yeah, they're like that.
A bird skeleton.
They're just kind of hunched over and they kind of squawk when you kill them,
and they're really fast and obnoxious.
Yeah, but there's also the me version of that move that the green guy did, which is in one of the matches, in one of the specific maps, they drop friendly guys to us. It's the only map they do it on, right?
Yeah.
The installation map. And so there's like 2 or 3 or 4, and we call them Steve. I almost said it like, oh, that's what they are, Steves, but no, that's we call
we just call them Steve.
They're all Steves, and they're like, in
which is funny because that's my dad's name, so I don't know how that came about.
It's just like Karen and Steve, like
I think you call them Steve just because it's like a normal name.
Yeah, like Karen though. All the memes are like, with cats, so something Karen.
Yeah.
It's just an easy like. It's a nice name, but yeah. So he's Steve. It's fine. So he's Steve, and so the point is to not kill him or them
because he's an ally.
Because they help you, even though they're kind of weak and lame. But
he's an ally.
But he's like the same size. He's like the same size as some of the birdos, and so I just, usually they die really quickly because they're weak, but sometimes they die quickly because I shoot them. And then I'm like, why did that give me like red points or red negative points?
And why did the voiceover guy say betrayal? Because you just shotgun blasted Steve in the face.
But then I'm like, because a lot of times it's right after you said, watch out for Steve. And I'm like, I see a guy with my shotgun. I'm like, oh shit.
And of course, because of your controller, he's like following you around. So he's just constantly in danger because he's following...
But I have
a
the
wild
guest.
card.
I don't have the guest one. Why is he following the guest and not the master?
You have the master controller.
I thought you had the master. I thought we switched because all the guys come after you. Anyway,
I don't know. So
yeah,
Steve,
it's just a weird programming thing.
Steve follows the master character, and all the aliens attack the other
the character. Perceived weaker guest character.
Which is weird because you'd think it would be... yeah, whatever.
But it's just, it always makes for a good laugh on my part. Frustration on Brandon's part.
Why are you killing him? He's on our team.
But I just don't have, like, I hate to say that it's maybe a woman brain thing, or just maybe it's my non-gaming brain thing. Like, the depth perception in the game, the mapping abilities, and I think it's actually just me, because I do have a hard time orienting myself in the map or just with my surroundings. And then if I see a guy and it's not you, and because we turned friendly fire off, partly for that reason, it's just another guy, it's another body I have to kill, save my family.
So I think you have trouble with it because you don't really play video games. Because I played Super Smash Brothers with Emmanuel recently, and my brain could not keep up with all the craziness and the bright colors until I started playing it more. Because you just have to get used to it.
But we play that game a lot. I mean, we play that game at least a couple times.
But you've gotten really good at it.
But I still kill the Steves sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
He is camouflaged.
Maybe you just forget.
He does look like the guy. And a lot of times I'll be looking like, is that a guy? Is that a Steve? And then I'll get shot because I've hesitated. So, just collateral damage, or what do you call it? Acceptable. I'm sure there's some military term. Acceptable casualties. And
acceptable casualties?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a term. I don't remember. Anyway, it's good fun.
Not so friendly
Loads
fire.
Of good fun. Yeah. Betrayal. Yeah, he's just an AI. It's fine. Anyway, what else you got?
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm good.
So I have some illegible notes here.
You want me to read your notes back to you?
Oh, if I can't read them, you can.
Oh, you go right ahead.
Halo.
Whole donkey grope stuck back. Oh, back.
Grenade stuck back on his own head. So
Okay.
that was a no for that.
Okay.
Backfire stories.
Oh, you don't have more video game stories?
I mean, maybe.
I thought you had another. We have the high video game stories, but did we want to save that for a high segment?
Sure.
Okay.
What about so here it says backfire stories, prank stories, scare stories. Did we already talk about when you went psst to me?
I think we did, but I don't
what
think
happened
it's
to your
made
voice there.
I wanted to be more girly.
Oh, okay.
I think we talked about it.
And we talked about the suit, the leopard suit that I jumped out in.
I haven't edited it yet. Such a stupid word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Edited it.
So.
Edited it.
Edited. It's because we don't say T's as T's.
I haven't edited it yet. Edited it.
In certain words, you say it like a D.
It's like banana, na, 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 na. When does it end?
Nothing like that. When you stop talking.
Where does it end? Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think that was like one of the few pranks I've pulled, which isn't really even a prank. It's just like in the moment, ooh, I'm going to do this thing and see if he jumps. And it worked magnificently.
It did. It scared the crap out of me. What about fail stories? Mm-hmm. When I fell up the stairs that day, and you just could not stop laughing. You were laughing all night.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Claire from Modern Family when she gets that look on her face that's like because she's like smiling.
Oh yeah, whenever something tragic
happens or like someone dies or just like bad news and
they're like, why are you smiling?
I'm kind of like that.
Except you're laughing.
Right. I'm kind of like it's definitely a problem because I really feel that it's unjust. You know, the flack I get over, I actually don't get that much flack, but if more people fell around me, I would have far fewer friends. Like no one would like me because I would just be laughing. I think it's partly all the fail videos I watch. It just tickles the crap out of me. Ever since I was a kid, I just loved America's Funniest Home Videos. I still love watching them, especially because they don't have freaking Bob Saget and commercials.
Bob Saget was terrible.
And the thing is, then he came back and was like this raunchy, I think, comedian. I think he was trying to reinvent himself, which more power to him. But in that show...
But not good.
Oh, gosh. Just bad. And I'm sure he looks back at that with regret. And
Tom Bergeron was the best.
Okay.
He made one joke where this old man was trying to put a canoe together. And he was trying to put like the seats in. So it was like, you know, like a bean pod that's kind of closed. Mm-hmm. And you put the seats in where you're like pushing it open. And the seat like slipped and he fell into it. And Tom was like, that's not a canoe. That's a Venus old man trap. Such a good joke. It's so good.
It is good.
I thought that was the most beautiful America's Funniest Home Videos moment.
That's funny. I don't think we had TV during his heyday, you know, because we went through years where we didn't have TV.
He's so funny.
But so like now I can only watch it online, which is fine. So I think I missed a lot of that stuff. But I'm quite happy just to watch the compilations without all the commentary anyway, as funny as they might be.
Well, he wasn't overbearing like Bob.
Yeah.
Bob was always like, I'm going to make a voice for this character.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like, shut up, Bob. Just let it happen.
There's a guy in England, the guy with the super big collars, like on his shirt collars. What the hell's his name? Harry... It's not Harry Enfield. Harry, I feel like it's another H. Anyway, so he did.
I have no idea.
He did like the English version of that, and it was such a better show, at least compared to like the Bob Saget version. God damn, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, he's pretty funny. So he would do voices too, but I feel like they were way funnier and like appropriate or just, I don't know, really good stuff. And my ex would get me compilations online, and then he would just sit back on the couch and watch me and like kind of shake his head, watching me just lose control, like
you simpleton,
crying, just could not. And they would get in a loop because then they'd play the next one, and I'm just like lose control. It's
clearly you guys' humor just did not match up. Because like I think the same kind of stupid crap is just as funny.
But I still think sometimes you look at me like because I'm just losing control.
Well, I never know with you. I never know what you're going to find funny.
What was it you said earlier that just tickled me silly?
I don't know. I don't.
I think you underestimate yourself too sometimes when you say things.
I said something.
Like, that was so quirky and just
I said something weird
left
and
field.
You thought it was hilarious.
Out of right field? Out of left field. I'm not a baseball person. So
I'm glad. No offense to baseball people, but
it's a horrible sport.
Mm-hmm. A lot of standing around.
I'm glad that we don't. It's still another one of our shared things.
Yeah.
Is
No offense to baseball, though, or baseball people.
That's the second time you said that. So it's kind of like making it clear that offense indeed. So, yeah. So when you fell up the stairs.
Yes. So I was holding things. I was bringing things upstairs. And
we were still moving
tripped
in. We were still moving in.
And fell into the stairs. And it hurt because there's a lot of points of impact. And you were just on there. You were just on the couch watching me.
No, I was standing up. Because you guys had like put together the bookshelf maybe or something. And you had like a stack, I feel like of books or albums or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so you couldn't maybe see the steps also. And I think the steps are kind of high. I'm sure they're code, but actually I'm not sure. And they have kind of lips, right?
Yeah.
So definitely if you're really not picking your feet up, I'm sure you were a little bit tired as well. And just bam. And it was like clump.
Yeah, clump. And there's a bit of a wall, and like you can see part of the steps from where you were standing. So all she could see is my legs. And just me going, oh.
Little dangly legs.
So you're cracking up right now. But it's because I'm kind of like coaxing it out of you.
Yeah.
I like to see you laugh, even if it's at my own expense.
It was a really good fall. Like, it was just real. I'm sorry. And yeah, and he had a knot. It was like a knot.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like you only get knots like on your head or, but it was like a knot. It was heavily bruised.
Well, think about it. Like a basically 6 foot tall person falling into stairs. That's a step every however tall.
Don't
steps
bring math into this.
But that's like, that's at least like 6 steps. Just, smacking into you.
I think it's the noise and
the legs.
And probably you made like an oof sound or like
and only seeing legs. It's like when somebody falls and just you see legs fly up and maybe a shoe fly off. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
How can you not laugh at that?
Even my mom was kind of, I think,
felt
bad for you and like was ashamed of me because I was like for hours after I kept trying to go up to him and be like, "Are you okay?" But every time I would go to ask,
I was pushing a little bit though.
It would bring the visual right back. Like I should have just cleared my mind and been thinking like bubblegum or something like, "Are you okay?" But like I was really trying to convey that I do care, but physical mishaps just kill me. And I just every time was just like, I think at one point you were sitting at your computer drawing and I was like, "Are you okay?" And then as I'm like massaging your shoulders or, something, I'm also like looking to the side, like, like
trying not to laugh.
Trying to like bite my lip, like, "Are you okay? I'm really sorry." And
I think eventually I just said like, just stop asking because all you're doing is laughing at me. So it's, let's just pretend it didn't happen.
I know. I did feel bad because
I'm just saying more for like future accounts. Yeah. If that happens to somebody else, because I didn't mind.
Oh yeah,
I really didn't mind.
I'd have to walk away
because I understand.
Yeah.
If something's funny, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe for other people that are a bit more like
for sure.
My dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I have no dignity. But that actually reminds me of that. Remember that story when I was walking in Santa Rosa, and this guy was walking his 2 dogs in flip flops. So there's this guy in Santa Rosa.
Outraged.
Who the heck walks?
Come on, situational appropriate footwear, people.
You're walking 2 large pit bulls,
muscle-bound dogs,
in flip flops. So this guy, he's just walking them, and I see him, and when I look at him across the street and see him, I notice that there's a car right next to him with a cat under it. And I'm like, this is not going to be good. Just in my brain.
Yeah.
This is not,
Right.
And the dogs.
Because the cat's not just going to be smart and patient and just sit there and wait for those dogs to pass.
Cats are assholes.
Yeah.
They're born assholes. Not all of them, actually, but a lot of them are. I think outside cats often are. And especially like city cats.
They have like territory to protect. Like they have to be in people's faces or other animals' faces.
Yeah. So the cat though just runs off, but that triggers the dogs.
Yeah.
And they like somehow swing the guy around, and he does like this little like twirl and lands on his face on a driveway, like, you know, a little sloped driveway, with his arms behind his back because he's got the leash going that way and the dog's going that way, and his flip-flops fly off.
Flip-flops everywhere, I think is the way you described it.
Yeah. The first time I told it to you, I was like, there were flip-flops everywhere.
Painted a word picture, a beautiful word picture.
But, man, and I just kept walking because I couldn't. I mean, I feel bad.
You just walked away shaking your head?
Well, what are you doing, man?
You got what you deserved.
Like, not only are you just walking around clearly obliviously.
Yeah.
You're walking in flip-flops, walking your 2 pit bulls that are clearly just stronger than you.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world are you doing?
I just don't even think you ever see a person walking 2 pit bulls at the same time, because they're freaking strong-ass dogs, and I don't know.
And don't wear freaking flip-flops.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to dig your heels in.
Like, good hard.
You know? You're not going to be able to have any traction. They're going to pull you right out of your stupid flip-flops.
One of them is definitely probably stronger than you. 2 of them, for sure. You are not going to be able to resist. You know what I'm trying to say? God damn it.
But he came down right on his face.
I picture you just walking by shaking your head.
I wasn't shaking my head, but I was just like, man.
Inside.
I was just like, what are you thinking?
I can't spend time with you. I can't spend time helping you because you're a lost cause.
Well, and you got 2 big pit bulls that you have no control over. So, like, you know, what am I going to do? Approach you and then get attacked?
He knew it then. That's the day he learned.
Man, oh
tennis shoes. Oh,
tennis shoes. Yeah, throw on your tennies so you don't eat the pavement again.
Maybe wear a helmet, you dumbass.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, we all have to learn stuff the hard way sometimes.
Yeah, I hope he didn't lose any teeth or something, because his face hit the pavement.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That would be hard. I don't think I would laugh.
I wasn't laughing.
No, I know. But I'm saying because I have that problem where I laugh at people falling or whatever. I think if it's clear from the get-go that it's like a hard fall, that there's pain or injury involved, I think I don't laugh.
Except in my case, falling up the stairs.
Okay, but it was clear that there was no head injury, that because you were still making noise. And
you can still make noise and have a head injury.
Flailing a little bit. I knew that you weren't injured. That's why.
Sure. Yeah. Keep telling yourself that.
Well, I am I'm very grateful in a way, but also sad. I think I'm grateful that I didn't get to witness my boss's little mishap recently. I won't name him, even though if anyone listens to this,
how about you?
They'll know.
How about you retry this?
So
I'm really grateful that somebody I know, because they're gonna know.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to tell that my coworkers told me the story.
No, just say somebody I know was sitting on their,
So I'm very grateful, but also sad, but more grateful that I wasn't there to witness someone recently who I'm quite familiar with, who had a mishap with a yoga ball. And the people who were there told me, first of all, they waited like a whole day to tell me. And I said, why did you wait until now? Because this is right up my alley. But anyway, this person has
other people's pain.
Okay, but so he sits on a yoga ball because he has a bad back. So when he's working, so it clearly degraded or something, or got a puncture and popped.
Maybe his key poked into it.
It could be. They're pretty thick. But so mid making a phone call, it popped and he fell flat on his back. And which is sad because he does have back problems.
It's not going to help.
Yeah. But, and then the other person who was outside of that room thought that it was like, the pop was like a gunshot. and that the people inside the room had been shot. So
because there was a thump as well, like a poof, and then thump, like a body had fallen.
So she was hesitant to go in the room because she didn't want to get shot herself, and she's like, "I'm going to go in there, and they're just going to be sprawled out, dead." But she finally went in, and he's just flat on the floor. And I said, "I'm so glad I wasn't there because he clearly was not necessarily in pain. I'm sure it was painful as well, but just more in shock." But I wouldn't have been able to keep it together. And I
can just imagine.
So I was glad. I was kind of sad to miss it, but I don't wish pain on anyone except maybe like, abusers or animal torturers or something. But damn, that's like right out of a something,
That's
I think they had it in The Office. They were talking about these people telling me the story we're talking about. That was like a thing in The Office where they like popped Dwight's ball he was sitting on or something.
Oh, no.
See, they try to achieve this in comedy, and this just happened to someone that I know just trying to go about his business. So I'm sad that it happened to someone who already has a bad back, but I definitely was like trying to put that picture together.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a ball popping and the person just falling. So I don't know.
It's got to be brilliant in a way. But yeah, now that I think about it more, it's less funny because it's just sad.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it, so I can't laugh at it. If it was me, even if I had a bad back, I would be laughing so hard. I don't think you would. I would wet myself.
Like, oh.
I might not be able to laugh because I wouldn't have any air in my body because it was all have been like smacked out by the fall. But
and depending on how you fell,
after that I would laugh.
Like,
I mean,
if he slapped his head, if he did that, how when you roll back and you you hit your back and then you hit your head, I don't think he'd be laughing. He'd be like, frick, my back, my head, my dignity.
But again, like my requirements for a funny thing or, involves like no serious injury, including head injury. So like when we're watching fail videos and people are hitting their head, I laugh until I see their head smack the ground and then I'm like, ooh, and my stomach kind of clenches. And so I do have sympathy. But if it's basically harmless and you're just going to walk away with like a few bruises, it's fair game.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. And hopefully you're making money off your clip, if it's in a compilation, I don't know.
Maybe.
So it's fair game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm sure I have my own fail stories because that might balance out my laughing at other people's misfortunes, but I can't think of any, except that one that I always talk about, that going along the pranking lines where I've never been a good pranker. I don't have a poker face. I'm not patient enough to engage in planning. There's a lot of P's, but so I'm more like in the moment kind of gal. So when we were younger, living in this little converted cabin in Forestville, and we had our black Labrador, and Mom was probably working, and Katie and I were just like watching a movie or hanging out, and like I was in the kitchen maybe doing some food, and like I felt a fart coming on. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go fart on my sister. It's gonna be amazing. So very simple. My planning, and my jokes are very simple.
Yeah, very basic. Yeah. To the point.
Yeah, exactly. Straightforward. Just like myself. So I ran over there trying to hold it. I bolted over there. Well, the dog's laying in front of her, and Katie's like on the couch, and the dog's laying on the floor right in front of the couch. Well, I scared the shit out of the dog. So she jumps up. I trip over the dog, fart on the way down, and totally miss out.
And you've fallen all the way to the ground.
I've lost my dignity and probably hurt the dog and just scared the dog. And my sister's just like, what are you doing? I was like, I had a fart and I was gonna
fart on you.
And it all went to shit. That's
pretty good.
That was good times. As much as it kind of sucked living in that little place, Katie and I had some good times. I think that was one of them.
That's a good time.
It was.
Thank you all for watching.
They're not watching.
Thank you all for listening.